I remember in Grand Theft Auto 5 that one of the best missions in the entire game was the job, the bank job that you, as Franklin, Michael, and Trevor, have to complete. A job that both Michael and Trevor have planned for so many years, and yet they finally came into fruition and got the job done. However, though, Lester gave you two options that you could have done. You could have done the tactical, smooth, easy route where you can make less money, or the job itself where you got to go in guns blazing, get an airplane and train and a bunch of other shit, and walk away with more money. Now, this bank job, I had a lot of fun doing it. I played both sides, and let's just say it's a crazy fucking mission. But when you play a game like that, you got to open some safes in order to get your riches. When you watch a movie and you see a bank robbery going on, like for example in Point Break, you got to crack open a safe. But when you see someone like Jason Statham, you're not trying to crack a safe. You're trying to prevent the bad guys from going in the safe by getting a new alibi who knows the codes and combinations in order to crack the safe. But here's the thing though. Sometimes you're not always that successful, and sometimes that you are. It all depends exactly. And for my case, besides, saying this stuff, I have my own personal safe word. You know what my safe word is? Peaches. You gotta love those action movies where the movie itself may not be the best, but it just takes the performance to keep you intrigued. Cause it's been a common tale in the world of film where you end up getting yourself a cliched action film. You'll get the shaky cam, you'll get your mediocre story, you'll get your badass action, you'll get your fast-paced, slow-paced camera shots, and a bunch of other quirkiness that makes a stereotypical cheesy action film. However, though, the story may not be the best, and the romance or whatever's tossed in there may not be worth watching or dwelling into looking at. But when you see a big name star in said film, that's literally the only thing that keeps you watching, no matter how good or bad the movie is. And I can name a shitload of actors out there who is portrayed in this little common tale in the world of film. But we're going to stick to the relevancy of Jason Statham. Now, he's one of those actors to where he's played in some good movies, some bad movies, some guilty pleasures, some comedy, some most of the time, if not almost a good 90% of the time, it's all action. However, though, there have been a couple movies that Statham has played in that he was pretty good in, and the film itself was not bad. This little film right here is one of them that I can say I give it a thumbs up and a pass, and it is an extremely fun movie. Now, what is Safe all about? Well, apparently there is a mob war going on between the Chinese mob family and the Russian mob family. What is the number one goal that the both families are wanting? Let's just say it involves two codes. One revolves a big financial payment, and the other one revolves around a safe. However, though, there's this little girl that the Chinese mob family ends up kidnapping and taking under their wing after she basically lost her parents, because the thing is that this young girl was supposed to go to school in America, but turns out with how intelligent she is, they decided to keep her intelligence and use her to crack codes and riddles to fulfill whatever prophecies that said mob family is trying to achieve right here. And then on the other side, you have Jason Statham, who was a former policeman. He went into the MMA world for a little while. All of a sudden, he ended up losing a fight. But then trouble comes his way, and he ends up losing his beloved wife and his home and his pride and his dignity and will to live. Yep, so he ended up becoming homeless and a fucking bum. And he basically tried to give up that life of fighting and trying to get himself all together. But then all of a sudden, when push comes to shove, while the little girl is being chased by both families, he basically sees what's going on. He sees the little girl and realizes that, you know what, snapped him right out of it and brought him right back to life. And to save the little girl, he ends up starts beating people up on the train, and then the film goes right into there of exactly learning about what these codes are and what exactly they are leading to, and who are they connected with, and what is in the said safe. Very interesting alone is that you learn about both backstories and how these two were able to get along. Now, the first opening minutes of the movie itself, the two backstories are going on. Like I said, between the little girl and then you got Jason Statham, both parties going on in hand. And sure, there's logic, there's reasoning. However, though, the pacing for that could have been a little bit done a little more, a little bit better, up until where before once these two actually met, could have had a little something there in terms of the pacing wise. But the story itself was writing in the wall right there of what it is that you were going to be expecting. Now, once these two got together, that's where the movie picked up from 1 to 100, literally a complete 180 of what you were originally seeing into exactly what you wanted to watch, is where Jason Statham is just going around kicking ass, whether if he's using guns or his fists or any items that he picks up, and just beating the fuck out of people. So that's literally the best thing I can say about it, is that you got yourself a fun little movie. He's kicking ass, he's taking names, he's saving a child that basically saved him mentally, and he goes around, understands exactly what this code is, the fact that you don't need it on paper anymore, it's all in the head. And here's the thing, though, about with his background experience of being a cop, he's got experience and knowledge of this particular work that he is ended up getting himself in, and how he's able to not only fight both families, but also at the same time satisfy them both equally and fairly. And you know what? I gotta give a lot of interest for that. Now, what is some of the common things that you see in action films, especially with one like this? Well, like I said, a lot of shaky cam galore. Random shots towards random facial expressions. Obviously, you see the action, but then again, the shakiness of the fucking camera just, shit like that just goes on and on and on within the movie itself, making it a little hard to follow and watch. I mean, it was a little too fast-paced, but at the same time, though, if the shaky cam wasn't necessarily going on, if you had, like, proper shots where the camera's going to follow the action, I think it would have been a little bit more follow and easier to watch. Maybe some one-track shots could have been a little nice, but then again, that's just me fucking being picky right here. So, overall, Safe is a movie I give a nice little thumbs up. It's not bad. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, once these two got together, and you see the acting that the little girl was able to portray, she did a solid job. And Jason Statham, the guy's a fucking badass. I mean, I would love to see him. I would have loved to have seen him as maybe a James Bond, maybe. But then again, that's just fantasy booking in my own mind right there. But then again, the guy, he's always fun to watch when it comes to any film. Like I said, good or bad, he's just a talent that is worth watching, because he's got the fucking tone, he's got the look, he's got the seriousness. Occasionally, he has those little one-liners where he adds a little levity in his films. And lo and behold, this is one of those Statham films that I can say I can see myself watching it and having a little fun time, just sitting in bed watching before I go to bed and all that stuff. And just having a fun time watching him kicking ass and shooting people or beating the fuck out of them. With headbutts, clotheslines, German suplexes, or any other professional wrestling move that Statham can perform in such film. And just being fucking awesome. So overall, I will potentially say that I give Safe a 3.25 out of 5. It's a nice little film. It's solid. It's definitely worth watching, and something that I recommend for you folks to check out if you want to have yourselves a nice little fun film to watch. So with that being said, folks, that is my little talk on Safe. And if you've seen this movie, let me know down below your thoughts in the comment section. And ciao for now.